doing episode numbers anymore because we don't even know what it is.
No.
But we have Jim, we have Tasia, and we have Elly.
Look
Ellie's
who it
back.
is, everybody.
Hey!
And I'm going to go ahead and walk out the door.
Right. I don't want to get too excited so Rich won't leave. But hi, Elly.
No, I locked the door. He can't get out.
Oh, no. I will get out.
Genius.
I will find a way out.
He's hanging from the rafters.
It's been very nice to see you.
I have been so happy to see you guys. I have so many stories to tell you.
Man.
Wow.
So I kind of told you guys a
That's
few
my
of them.
execute.
But did you know that I had a new workout partner in Florida?
Snake. Saw the video.
What?
Jim
showed him.
Did you tell him his name?
Don't really care.
Fang.
That's
But
a good name.
But I don't think I sent anyone but you the picture of the two snakes, the double snake.
You didn't send me the double snake.
Look, I seriously don't understand this. Why do you not kill those snakes?
Well, someone told me they were good luck.
I've never heard of a snake being good luck.
Yeah,
I'm going to be
Elly,
honest.
You don't kill a black snake, but if it's a poisonous snake, I'm out.
But in that, so I thought you staged it. I
No.
thought it was BS at first.
No, every day.
But then it was literally coming toward you.
No, it wanted to sit there, and I thought about it. I'm like, maybe I should give it some cantaloupe. But
What?
then I ffelt like a hypocrit because why would I give
Why
a snake
cantaloupe?
fruit? I eat meat. I don't know because it
Why
seems
would
like a nice
cantaloupe
thing
be
to
the
do.
thing you think you're going to give a snake?
Because I'm sure it's not going to find a mouse.
I
Or a
also want to
cricket.
pivot to you say, why don't she kill it? How is she going to kill it?
It's a great point.
You
With
get
your
a-
hands. You have a
What?
barbell. You're in a gym. You have a
Like
dumbbell.
How am I
smash
gonna
it?
swing back a 45-pound barbell onto a snake that's this big?
You go get the gardener guy and you tell him to come kill it.
We know you have people.
You
that work
have
for
people
you.
who do those things for you
Dino
at your
was
house.
standing there.
That's what I'm saying.
What was his name?
Dino?
thought you
I
said
knew Dino was somewhere around there.
I
You
was
say,
like, come
Dino, kill the snake.
Okay, Dino and Rat.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
just
I would probably
crazy.
throw a dumbbell at it, but then I'd break the dumbbell and it wouldn't hit it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just stomp my feet a lot.
Funny text. I just got one from Tommy Marquez that says, "Hey Rich, if teams get canceled and they offer up the individual invite from the Open, would you consider it? I assume no, but I'm putting together a piece about all the team athletes in a similar situation and had to ask, so I sent the Michael Scott gift that says, no! God,
That's pretty good.
No!
I feel like how many times have you been asked that question as of, the uncertainty of things? Probably a lot of times.
You should start counting how many times you're going to be
I know.
answer that question
Rich,
because
do you
it's
think
coming.
you go individual? No.
So the question of the day, Rich, are you going individual?
You can't
So,
get mad.
The plan is, and heck, we can talk about it on here, I guess, is to do a team competition. We've gotten,
excited.
if the games are officially canceled for teams, which I'm assuming they will be because the endeavor of just doing the individual one is going to be a feat in itself. So we have been in contact and said we would be willing to host a team competition. So we're working on the details of that, but the idea is something 1st of August. So
Is it in
exciting.
conjunction to the games, you're hosting on behalf of the games, or you're hosting another competition
It's-
because of it not happening?
it's another competition, but as long as CrossFit's okay with us doing, I'm not trying to cross them or anything like
Gotcha.
that.
Right.
But it's
they're
not the
gonna
games.
be. No, it won't be. I mean, it
Okay.
can't be the games.
gotcha.
So yeah,
I just didn't
but
know
it
if
will
was
be in Cookeville, and we're gonna try to do some type of media around it, stream it, whatever. So it'll be
cool.
fun.
That's gonna be
It's,
awesome.
at least have some type of. And we've had all 8 teams that are pre-qualified through sanctional process are interested, depending on travel bans at that point and all this stuff. I mean, it's a fluid situation, but we're gonna go ahead and start planning for something in August.
So fun.
That sounds
Are there extended travel bans still right now? Not to sound ignorant.
I think so.
I think our borders are closed.
Okay.
From
Within the
outside.
United States,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had to wear I got my hair cut yesterday.
Oh yeah, looks good.
Yeah, I feel human again. But I had to wear a mask, and they met you at the door, and
How'd that go?
it was weird.
Yeah.
It was super weird.
You had to wait in your car? Did you
I
have
had to wait in
in
my car. I had to call. They met me at the door. They put soap in my hand. Then I had to go to the bathroom, wash my
Gotcha.
hand. And they all had little masks on with their insignia of the. I go to My Father's Mustache is the name of the place.
Nice.
So they had little masks with mustaches.
Wow.
Nice.
I was happy to get. Honestly, at first I was kind of freaking out. I was like, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. I have to wear a mask. Honestly, I'm just.
No.
I don't want to get too
No.
political about it, but
Yep. Nope.
that's my choice. I'm not
Yep.
going to do that.
Yep.
And then I
My
found
body,
out.
my choice, right?
Right. And then I found out that the governor said you have to, and for them to open, they can only do 50% capacity, And then they're gonna have to work from like 8 till 9 o'clock at night just to get as many people because there's 15 minutes between each appointment. So
15 minutes.
15 minutes. I felt
That's
kind of
aggressive.
bad for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's aggressive.
That is aggressive.
So, anyways, all that for a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Oh,
kidding.
Dre,
About to
what do you
say
got
that.
here? Oh. Wow. This episode sponsored by RP Strength. Now you guys know I've been using the RP Diet app for a while now, right?
I do.
Yeah. It really helps me focus on training and not worry about what I'm eating. We've been pretty busy around here pumping out these workouts on the YouTube channel.
Real busy.
So if you're looking to lose fat, gain muscle, or improve your performance, search RP Diet app in your app store. Use referral code Froning to save 33% on your subscription. Don't forget to find them on Instagram at RP Strength. But in all seriousness, RP Strength is awesome. Nick's great. It's been a great thing. It's helped me a ton with just recovery and stuff. And I actually had a pretty good talk with him. I was on their podcast last week. I don't even know if it's out yet, but a good discussion and, you know, just kind of the way it's evolved over the years and, you know, with me getting old and cutting out dairy and all that type of stuff, how we've kind of had to change the template and do some different things and him not being huge on intermittent fasting, but being willing to, you know, work with the athlete within, you know, like you've got to, that's what he was talking about, is the balance of like, you know, he may think that he has the best program, best, you know, diet planned out with timing and all this stuff, but if the athlete's not going to follow it because that's not what they want to do, you can't do it. So there's got to be some compromising, give and take, and so that's what they've been great with. I know we were pushing the RP Diet app, which is good, but it's also cool to do their kind of one-on-one coaching or their templates. So
Nice.
RP Strength.
The one thing I've learned for sure being around you guys is that the diet thing's different for everybody.
Everybody's
and that's what I
different.
like about that.
Everybody's different.
It can kind of customize for you, and you can figure out what
Depending
you
on
need.
your goals, something can be made. So
Boom.
Did you just wake up one day and cut dairy out?
yeah, cold. Well, other than like, so I still do.
Did you read something about it, or what?
Yeah, I
prompted
mean,
it?
there's some info on like dairy increases inflammation. There's
Right,
some
right,
stuff like that. So I was like, I'll give it a shot, and it has actually, unfortunately, seemed to have helped.
Oh my gosh, and you're like the milkman.
it.
I used
Rich
to
is
love
the
drinking
milkman.
like strawberry milk.
Oh yeah.
Loved it.
So good.
Like
Milk is so
quick.
Milk
good.
and cookies.
Strawberry
Yeah,
But
like
honestly,
just-
like now,
Yeah.
I don't mind
So
almond
good.
milk as much. Like it's
good.
not, you know, like now that I've been drinking it, I don't even think anything about it. Like the other day, I'd be lying if I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna take a drink. Dre,
Oh my gosh.
is it
Trey.
Christmas? Oh, okay, we'll save those. All right, yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, the almond milk thing. Now that I haven't drank milk for probably 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
On a regular basis. Like if it's in something, I'm not like, I've noticed like if I had a milkshake one day, the next day, and it could have been what we did working out wise or whatever, but my knee just felt swollen, and I was like, nope, no more milkshakes. But I mean, and I've got a pretty good system now on like post workout workout shake, you know, because the protein that we use, the Advocare protein, Bioline, that was not even, they're not even paying us to say
It's
that.
so good.
No, it's delicious, but it's not, like, I don't like protein powder with water. I just don't. And so at least with the almond milk, it gives it a little extra flavor, and then I've been throwing a banana or two in there, and maybe some peanut butter every once in a while. And you talk about
Combo.
real
Sounds
good
like
in
a
a little
milkshake.
ninja
It
blender.
does.
Man, it's
Yeah.
good. So it's an incredible little combo. So
Speaking of almond milk, did you get that cereal? I know.
yeah,
Oh,
Magic
yeah.
Spoon.
Magic Spoon. They don't-
Yeah, and you're not paying us yet either, but we will give a critique of Magic Spoon. I will give a critique of Magic Spoon.
You got
we need
it.
We need to order a variety pack and you guys try it. But the Fruit Loops are great, incredible,
Okay.
or whatever they call them. They're not Fruit Loops. Great. Blueberry, I give it the Fruit Loops on, you know, obviously texture's a little bit different. It's not
This
it's
is
grain,
a high protein cereal.
not really
for
high protein,
clarification,
but
or
it's like
Lower sugar, right?
less sugar. It is a protein based,
Okay.
I guess, because it's like got 11 grams of protein per serving.
a lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'll go ahead and give my full critique here, I guess, since we're in it. The Fruit Loops, I'll give them almost a 10, like a 9.5 out of 10.
Are
Flavor,
you comparing it to actual Fruit Loops
Yeah.
or
Flavor-wise-
cereal alone?
to Fruit Loops.
Okay.
Flavor-wise, everything great. Texture a little bit off, but it's an incredible substitute. Chocolate, I'll give like a 5 or 6 out
Ooh,
of 10.
that's low.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not great. Because
Like if you had chocolate pebbles.
I still eat crappy cereal and crappy stuff. So I'm not going to give you, like, if you're trying to completely stay away from it, I'm sure it's probably still good to you. But Me, not so much.
I mean, pillows. Have you tried those?
What is it?
Those pillows?
Oh,
they're
those are so good.
So good. Man, Trice. So last night, I had and so it leads me to the next one. The blueberry, I'll give it like a 7.
Okay.
It's still good. The flavor's all right. It's not great. But me and Trice were eating cereal last night, and I was eating Trice. After I had some of the fruit ones, because we ran out of the fruit ones, because that's the thing too, is like the portion size, like the box is like as big as this sheet of paper.
Oh, really?
And the serving size, we joked about it, 3/4 of a cup. Who the hell's ever eaten 3/4 of a cup of cereal?
Exactly.
Nobody.
And there's only 7 servings per box, so it's like
You could eat a whole box.
Yeah. Oh, easy day. But that's also what, like 80 grams of protein right there.
Oh my god.
It might be worth it.
And
Not
so
worth it.
the frosted
Yes.
one, I need to have another bowl, but I'd give that one an 8.5.
Okay.
It's
pretty
pretty good.
solid.
It's pretty good. So if I was to buy more, and I will, I would go with the fruit ones, the fruit one and the frosted one. Those are my the top 2.
That's interesting that chocolate's the lowest, because I feel like you can mimic
You can
chocolate.
fake that
You can
crap,
fake
yeah.
it, yeah.
But it just wasn't my favorite.
What's a sweetener? Monk fruit
Monk
or
fruit
something?
and stevia?
Yeah.
Something else.
There's
I
something
can't
else
remember.
you said that I didn't know what it was.
Aluve or I don't remember what it is, but not bad.
Right on.
They were good. I was
have to order some.
pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would go with the fruit one or the frosted one,
And with almond milk.
and with almond milk, it's not bad.
All
I
right.
like it. I mean, so really, you're looking at macros wise, it's pretty healthy there. So, and so what I was saying is, I ran out of Fruit Loops last night. I was eating the blueberry when I tried it. It was okay. It wasn't great. So what I did, because Trice wanted more, we went half 3/4.
Genius.
Half
There you
Trix,
go. Yeah.
half blueberry. So it's like,
Just
you best
whip
of both
yourself in
worlds.
there.
So I got the carbs. I needed the carbs, and so it was good.
It's outstanding. I'm going to buy some.
Magic
in.
Spoon, you can mail your check to 601 Rich Froning Way.
I thought you were the one that started it all.
I
He
did.
found
I
out-
did bring
He
it
brought
up.
it up. He
Okay.
brought it up, but you didn't
Okay.
even try it, right? You
No, I
just
didn't.
Heard
Oh,
about
okay,
it.
you just
He ordered them
I
right
ordered
on the
it
show.
while we were
Right on the
podcasting.
podcast.
Gotcha. Okay, because I've heard it on a couple podcasts, but I thought you originally were the one that had found it.
I started to get it several times, and then I was just afraid after my
Yeah.
cereal experience. And
Tell us about that, Jim. What
I've
happened?
told it multiple times on the
Oh, you
podcast.
have?
Silver,
Going to the emergency room after I ate the whole
Captain
box
Crunch,
of
right?
Captain.
Yep.
That is the worst thing Captain Crunch can do to you. Like, what?
It
It's
also
so
cuts the roof of your
delicious.
mouth, so I'm like just impressed that you were committed to that much sharp cereal.
I could do
No,
it, Jim.
it was so good.
I could do it.
But it's
I could push through this.
it was the only thing I had eaten in 24 hours.
Okay, yeah.
And then I thought I was having a heart attack. It's happened to me multiple times in my life. It's a theme.
I shouldn't laugh.
Speaking of that, so my mom has to have a hip replacement, right? And so she goes in to kind of do like her pre-op stuff, and they did a ECG or EKG. I don't remember. Turns out she had a heart attack at some point in her life.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, yeah, it's kind of normal. Runs in my family. My grandma, Violet, who we've named Violet after, she's had like 5 or 6. And you're just
Oh,
like,
no.
crazy.
I
Yeah,
wonder
but she
what that
didn't even
means on the
know.
scale of it. Like, does
Yeah,
that mean like you're,
it couldn't have been
you know-
too bad, I don't think. I
Right.
mean,
yeah.
and I love her, but she's a little high strung, so
Yeah.
there's no telling. There's no telling how many heart attacks I've probably had. You know?
Probably have one.
What's your Apple Watch say?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I feel like
Speak-
I've had some heart attacks mid-workout before. Like,
Yeah, there's
Like, seriously.
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely some internal scarring going on in there for sure.
not good. They're like, working out's good for your heart. I'm like, I
No.
don't know, though.
Redlining is not good for your heart. Working out is good for your heart.
Emotionally today was the worst I've ever experienced.
Emotionally?
Yeah.
That
since I've
workout was
been-
bad.
Yeah.
What'd you guys do today?
Every 2 minutes, you started with, technically it was a 20 cal buy-in on the Echo bike, and then in the remaining 2 minutes, you had to do max burpee box jump overs, and then you had a minute rest between rounds. So every 3 minutes, you did 20 cal Echo bike and then max burpee box jump overs in 2 minutes. And it sucked from round 1 till round 10.
That was
I mean,
horrible.
it sounds like it.
Was it the bike or the jumping that
Yep.
was?
Well, I was just being stuck between Rich and Haley. Like, I won't ever do that. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I'm not ever trying to compete with you guys. I'm never trying to do that. I'm just trying to stay fit and stay moving. And then
Right.
I want to push myself. I
Yeah.
want to take purposeful risks.
But you get pulled along a little too far,
Holy
probably.
crap. Like,
Haley on that first set, I was like, we're gonna die if we try to keep this up.
It's gonna
Trust
we're
me,
gonna
Jim.
die
I
this
know the
morning.
feeling.
well, you were getting like
15.
15, and I was like trying to get 8. So you guys, I felt like I was getting off the bike, and I was only doing 15.
Yeah.
So I was kind of trying to stay with
Yep.
Haley, which is a silly thing to do. But but you guys were just blurring past me over the box. And I just started to feel worse and worse about myself.
I was feeling terrible about myself. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Were you doing step down, step up, or are you 2 foot
Step down, jump.
and jump?
Step up, jump, step down.
Okay, so you were like going, but you weren't like.
No, I'm 15.
No.
I was averaging 15 a minute.
That's a lot.
You were doing that whole little athletics because I was watching sideways. You
half
hit
jump,
you hit the box
yeah.
sideways,
And would step down
and
immediately.
then you spin and step down, so you're on the floor just that fast. And I'm like,
There's a couple times it didn't.
You had time to watch.
Couple times it didn't feel athletic. I was like, okay, this sucks. You're watching your feet and you're like, what the hell am I doing? But it was awful. You'd get to like 30 seconds and you'd look up at the clock and you're like, oh no, another 30 seconds.
this is what you do all the time.
Jim, trust me, I know. I know.
She lives it every day.
Yeah, and Rich says he's like, I'm bad at burpees. I don't like burpees. And then, I mean.
Well, he said at round 8, it saved my life because he said at round 8, and he was serious. He wasn't playing around. He said, hey, listen, if we can get through this round, we can do anything kind of deal.
Well,
That's
because
the money
we're running which kind of brings us to our next point here in a second. We're doing these live videos for our Mayhem Athlete subscribers, and so Monday. Actually, I'll walk through the schedule. It's kind of it's a talking point more or less. So on Mayhem Athlete, on Mondays we're doing an M30 live now with Elly.
On Monday?
Which will be public at 8:15.
Yes.
Mayhem Monday live at 10 a.m. Tuesday M30 live with Elly.
I did it 2 days in a row.
Wow.
No, you keep going. Hold on.
Toledo.
Wednesday we have a Mayhem Athlete live at 8:15, public to everybody. A quarantine live at 3 p.m. public to everybody. A Froning and Friends podcast, probably this one will be released. And an M30 live workout plus Q&A with Tasia and Elliot too.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
M30, Elly is also doing. No, actually, just kidding. That's Tasia is doing at 8:15. That's public to everybody. We're doing a quarantine live at 3 p.m. on Friday, and Sundays are Into the Storm Sunday devotional.
Yahoo.
However, on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we do a Mayhem Athlete private to any of our subscribers. We do the workout with you guys Monday, Tuesday, Thursday morning, and then we make it public to everybody on Wednesday. And so basically, Elly's going to be doing those simultaneously with the M30 live for you guys.
Yay.
All the content, all of it.
So to bring it back to
to where we're going. So I was
your encouragement.
Encouraging you guys / the people that were doing it still, where it was like, hey, if you get through 8, you're home free. Like, we always talk about that with Hinshaw. That was one of the big things is like, what is the sticking point in the workout? Round 7 was really probably the sticking point. When you get through 8, you're like, all right, I'm home free. Like you can make it to 8 once you get to 8. And so it was funny. We were actually talking to one of the guys after, Timmy, who's been on there. He's kind of a regular. There's like, how many? There's probably a couple hundred subscribers to the Compete program and What's Rich Doing, and I think we're doing M60 on there, I think. And but there's probably 45 people that are regulars on there every morning doing the workout with us and commenting back and forth. So it's good. But Timmy was like, yeah, I did my first 20 calories in 30 seconds. Thought it was a good idea to rest 30 seconds and then do my burpees. And I'm like, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what's the thought process?
Yeah.
Did this work out? And it was good. It was kind of a cool teaching moment to actually interact and say, hey, this was kind of like you're trying to find a pace and stick with it versus try to blow yourself out. Because, I mean, it's a lactic threshold type workout. So you're trying to flush lactic acid. So especially on the bike, as soon as you stop, you're done because your veins and everything are trying to move blood, but your muscles are actually helping you move that blood. That's why we do a lot of like work into active rest, and it's priming your system and kind of pushing stuff through versus just letting it all sit there and make it worse. And so that was kind of cool to have a teaching point because I don't do a ton of coaching, and so it's been nice to and actually see some benefit out of the interaction there versus us just doing the workout just to do the workout. So it was good.
It's probably a perspective shift too, because when you're with the same people every single day working out, you sometimes don't. You think everyone can do everything, which is awesome, but then once you have 45 people every single day at a different level, I mean, that's definitely.
Well, yeah, that's something we've talked about with Jake. Jake's like, hey, could you program 3 or 4 weeks in advance for compete? And I'm like, I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to because I don't want to do the work of it, but I feel like we can test the workouts before they go to compete. You know, what's Rich doing? Obviously, they're following exactly what we do. Like we learned this week, it was a workout. I was like, it won't be that bad. It was
horrible.
And now it was terrible, and it was a terrible idea. But you know, I'm kind of nursing this back thing right now, and so I was like, all right, let's do something that's a little bit of upper body, a little bit of core. You know, see if I can take some pressure off the back. And it's going to sound ridiculous, but it was 25 strict handstand push-ups.
This is the one Deja told me we're changing it for compete.
Yeah,
because
I was like, it was
25 toes to bar, and then what was it?
Shoulder overhead.
50 shoulder to overhead at 85 and 60.
Yep.
It was going to be 75, but I was using that short bar, and I just wanted to add add a 25 on there, so it was 85. Anyway, and then 50 GHDs, and so you rested 1-to-1, and so in looking at it, you're like, oh yeah, I could do the handstands pretty much unbroken because I get a decent rest, you know, or 2 sets. Toes to bar unbroken, 50 shoulder overhead. Probably at that weight you could do unbroken if you didn't have the handstand the handstand push-ups before it. And then the 50 GHDs for us, GHDs are just kind of there. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it won't be bad. You get to that barbell, and you're like, I'm gonna die. And so, you know, so what's kind of just through the thought process of doing this workout, now I'm like, all right, how could I almost get the similar volume in and get a better workout? And so, you know, we talked about making, and this will probably show up this week and people will see this in hindsight, but it's going to go 15 strict handstand push-ups, 20 toes to bar, 25 shoulder overhead, was it? Yeah, 25 shoulder overhead and 30 GHDs. And we would do more rounds of it, more sets. And so everybody's like, well, why do you guys do so many sets or so many rounds and blah, blah, blah? Why not just make it, 5 rounds for time? If you were to do 5 rounds for time of that, you're going to be going so slow. And it's like, I think of it as, if I'm going to train for a 5K or I'm going to train for a marathon, I'm not going to go out and run a 5K or run a marathon all the time. I'm going to change up, and you want to change the stimulus and do that type of stuff. So I say all of that to kind of say, with our programming, I like to do the workouts ahead of time. I don't even know where the heck this came from, but
just teaching.
Yeah, just teaching and thinking about why we do the stuff.
But doesn't it make you wonder how there are some like cult following programs? I mean, I just remember over the years all the different ones going out there. But doesn't it make you wonder how some of these coaches can coach or do this and say, but they didn't do the workout.
You didn't do the workout. Yeah.
And you just really, it's so different, the appreciation of how your body feels. Don't get me wrong. I think they have a great science background and can really push things. But I mean, how are you really knowing, maybe your athlete's having a good week or a bad week, and like when you do it, I think that's just an incredible
I just feel
part
more
of the program.
Yeah, I feel better. I feel more connected to the program when I'm doing the workouts. I don't feel right. Even like in off season when we're not doing as much, I don't feel in a groove. Like I get in a groove when I'm programming, when we're doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that's been cool for me to like learn and just see that. And even when this whole quarantine thing happened, we started doing more bodyweight workouts and like
smashed.
Like looking at the programming, the things I was programming, be like, wow, that was like way too hard. But because I didn't do it, I didn't know. And then we're doing them. I'm like, okay, maybe we need to switch this up a little bit.
My bad. We had a lot of my bads in there, but we were doing them. We were doing them with them, so we can't really like,
I still think about that jumping air squat one. I was like really not okay from like round 3. You were there.
Oh yeah.
The 450 jumping air squats that we did.
Oh my
Holy
gosh.
smokes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a bit excessive.
Someone took a screenshot and I'm like leaning. I think it was Ken, like leaning over the box, just like at the end.
So
this is why I was not coming around and getting on the camera. Because I wasn't going to die on the camera.
We did.
I have plenty of times.
Which one of the songs does it say? I think it's a Judah and the Lion song where it says, I'm going to die sometime in Tennessee. That's one of the lines.
Yeah.
And that song plays over and over.
Yep.
And
Is that what's
I
going
hear
on in
it.
your head?
That's exactly what's going
the
on.
song
in my
is
head.
actually called Mason-Dixon line, but where he's like...
And I think to myself, well, I know Rich is trained in EMS. There's an AED right there. I know he'll give it hell if I pass. At least he's going to try to work my body.
Hey, I'll do compressions, man.
Right.
I'll do compressions. Compressions are more important than breaths, they say, so.
Okay, here we
We're
go.
good.
Yeah.
And we got an AED.
Yeah, so.
We'll first have to get him to stop the workout. We'll be like, no, it's serious.
No, he's fine. I'll get it after this. It's like anytime my kids come up, I'm like, I'll open it in a second. Let me finish. And I'm just... I can't ruin the stimulus of this workout for your incessant crying. I remember one time Violet, there's nothing, and I probably talked about it on here, but there was nothing wrong with her. I just changed her before we started. She'd had food. She might have been a little tired, but
I remember that day.
She just stood there by me and cried
Like sobbed.
That sounds
for
horrible.
probably 10 minutes.
For longer, because
Yeah.
it was through the whole
Yeah.
workout.
And I was like, sorry, Violet. And she's just like,
And then she would like walk around. She'd like go to me and then to Kristen, and we're all just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
sorry, Violet. Got to grow up sometime.
It was
Oh my
awesome this
gosh.
morning. Haley's 19,
Yeah.
and I don't know how many if she's been around kids, but
Mine.
but Violet was like totally following her around
Yeah.
and wanted her to pick her up, and so
Yeah.
she was okay, and she did, and then she started to put her down, and then Violet. She's not
Wanted-
going to cry, but she
No.
wants to stay in her arms, and it was so fun to watch Haley try to figure that out. She's
It's like Tasia the first time we gave her Trice. She's like, she's like,
Okay. To be fair, I didn't realize he was old enough to sport his own head.
And she's
I don't know anything about babies.
Trice is like,
I never had a
no,
baby.
don't move your neck.
I can't remember. It was like Rich and Hillary were like doing something around the house. They're like, hey, can
And
you just
granted,
like,
in her defense, Trice was tiny. Like, he was 4 pounds when he
they're
was
like, hey,
born.
can you
so-
watch Trice for a second? And I'm just like, okay. And they're like, you can like set him down. I'm like, his head though? I mean,
It was so good. I'm like, And then now she just follows Trice around with like a crash pad. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
Trice, no, don't do that. No. And the
Man.
best
In
is,
an orange.
yeah, she wants to negotiate everything. We were like,
Yeah.
no, Tasia, he can't have that knife that he's trying to stick into the
the light.
socket.
No
She's like,
way.
can I have that? I'll give you this.
You know what's
I
crazy?
don't know. I'm like,
I
bargaining.
never grew up around little kids, like really, until like I've been around your kids, and they're so fun. But I'm like petrified they're gonna hurt themselves. I'm just following them around, like.
Granted, Jim texted me yesterday, and the barn's kind of closed up because it was cold. I thought the kids went back to the house. Jim goes, "Hey, your kids are in the woods."
Trice was in the woods.
No, he wasn't.
Violet was too. She followed him out. Like I'm
Oh
like,
my
I walk out
gosh.
there. I'm like, and it. Granted, my woods are close, but still, I'm like,
Yeah.
Trice, get up here. And
I
sure
was-
enough, he walks out. Violet's in tow. Those two are inseparable. They crack me up, but I'm just like,
I was watching them,
Yeah.
so I had eyes on them.
Yeah.
And Trice went into the actual woods, and then Violet was kind of on the edge,
Oh,
and then
okay.
I text you.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to go get
Get
them.
'em, yeah.
Other than texting you.
I was
but,
like,
yeah.
I'm looking at like when you sent that text, I'm like looking at, I'm like, what woods, Jim? And I see all your cars there, so I'm like, okay, so at least if I can't look over here and see them,
Yeah.
Surrounded
sure
by
enough,
woods.
Trice just comes walking out of the woods, Violet's in tow, and they're like, I mean, the grass now is like tall. It's like,
Well, when I walked out of the barn, I got in the car and turned the car on, and I saw movement
Yep.
in the tall grass.
Oh my goodness.
Like, what is that? I was thinking turkey or something, and it's your
such
children.
a terrible parent.
No. In their defense, if any kids are gonna survive out there, it's gonna be
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, there was like a
So awesome.
what was it a couple months ago when that toddler, like 3 or 4 year old, was somewhere in West Virginia or something, or North Carolina, I can't anywhere. Anyway, it was like for 48 hours or 24 hours, he was just out in the woods. I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
Trice would be fine.
he would be fine.
He'd be
I
fine.
wonder if he'd have his
He'd have
backpack
his
on.
moments.
Tractor?
Yeah.
Tractor?
Yeah.
The key's in the woods. I bet that's honestly. I think he thinks. So I took the tractor key from him. Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. I don't know. Like I said, I may be repeating stories, but I think it was last Thursday. So we hadn't podcasted yet. So last Thursday, I'm on the runner. Greg and Jake are there. They're doing one of the quarantine workouts with the vest, burpees, and step ups. So they're facing back. I'm facing forward, so we can kind of keep eyes on the kids. Well, Trice and Violet are out back. Well, Greg finishes work. I'm like, hey, just go see what they're into because I can hear them into something. So he walks out there. He's like, yeah, you might want to check him before, like when you get done. He's got the tractor key, just whatever. And I was like, Greg, get the tractor key from him. Like, he doesn't need the tractor key. Go get it. Oh, okay. Well, he comes, grabs the tractor key, gives it to me. I put it up on top of the thing, on the fridge. Next thing I know, Trice has the key to the razor. I'm like,
Oh my god.
give me that. So I put it in the helmet on top of the fridge. Next thing I hear is the chair scooting across that floor. And then I hear another chair scooting across that floor. And Trice is trying to get the keys out of the fridge. And I'm like, Trice, get down. You can't have the key. So I'm in the middle of another running interval. I walk back, and he has the hose to the air compressor. He's got it off the air compressor somehow. It's not on. The air compressor's not on, so it's not pressurized. And he's trying to, like, swipe for the key because he can't reach. So he's, like, throwing it up there. He's
He's smart.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
a mess. And so I'm like, Trice, you can't have the key. Look at me. No key. And he loses it. He's so upset that I won't give him the key. Goes up to the house. I look. Hillary and Trice are walking down to the barn. And I'm like, okay, I've been tattled on by my 3-year-old. So I'm like, he can't have the key, Hillary. She goes, he said you threw it in the woods. I'm like, I did not throw any key in the woods. And she thought, he has these, keys from a friend of ours that had a bunch of owns a golf course. He had a bunch of old golf cart keys, so he gave Trice keys because he loves keys.
Right.
So she thought that I'd taken his key and just, I'm that horrible of a father, just chucked it in the woods. So now everything is, key in the woods? Key in the woods?
That's hilarious.
And so I bet he was thinking, I'm going to go find this key in the woods. Because that's what I told him. I was like, I threw the key in the woods.
He cracks me up. He's smart. He, one day, when the keys were on top of the fridge, he was like, key, trying to get me to give it to him. I'm like, did your dad say you can have the keys? Like, Dad said I have keys.
Dad said key.
I'm like, you go ask him.
During this whole thing, there's a table.
Yep.
There's a kind of kitchen area in the barn. There's chairs around a table right there, and he'd pulled that chair over.
Yep.
Well, he was kind of looking on the ground, and he wasn't on the chair. He was beside the chair, and he pulled it over on him.
Yeah.
And he's tough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He his eyes kind of got, it hurts, and he kind of winced, and he looked back at me, and I just looked away, and then he popped it back
Fine
up.
to go. Good to go. Yeah, as long as you don't make a big deal out of it, he's tough.
Silver. Looked away. Got it.
But
Perfect.
he's a
Yeah.
So I tell you that to tell you on Saturday, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grade the driveway. It's a gravel driveway. It always gets messed up. I need to put the bush hog so I can start bush hogging fences because the grass is starting to grow up. And the bison don't really eat underneath the fence, so it gets all nasty looking. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to grade the driveway because it gets all rutted out. It's still rutted out again. But so I'm doing that. I'm going to switch the tractor, go turn the key on, or turn the tractor on. Deader in a hammer.
Oh, no.
Trice, he gets on the tractor and just turns the lights on and starts messing with stuff.
Show.
Dead at not even nothing comes on. You son of a.
That kid's hard charging all the time.
All the time.
But he's fun, though. He's a riot. I love having him around. They're so much fun.
I'm liking that he talks more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah. It's so good, though. It's the same stuff. He says it. Anything with an engine he loves. Any four-wheeler, four-wheeler, motorcycle, tractor. That's his big things right now. That's his main vocabulary.
It's crazy how well he rides that little electric four-wheeler.
Tractor. Four-wheeler, he'll hammer on that thing. It's just like from Jackie Mims here. They let us have it because it was John's. And I'm like, maybe I should get him electric, real-ish four-wheeler. And then I watch him ride that thing, and I'm like, no. Like the other day, I look out back because he's just ripping around the barn. He tried to go down the trail that goes around the outside of the. I'm like, Trice, get over. And he goes, okay. And he puts it in reverse and backs up and takes off. And I'm just like, dang, man, I can't.
He came flying down the driveway, pulls up. I mean, he's totally doing something.
Yeah,
you can tell
always.
he's got a plan.
Dennis the Menace, always.
Gets off the little electric deal, goes over, and there's 2 sets of violet shoes, pink and white.
Yep.
And he looks up at me, and I said, "What you doing, buddy?" And he said, "He's getting Kiki shoes."
Kiki shoes.
And he needed to take them back to the house.
Yeah.
So he grabbed a pink one and a white one. And he starts, I'm like, hey, wait, no, hold on. Get the matching pair. And he looked at me like I was crazy.
What the
He just had 2 of them, and he got on the four-wheeler and
man.
took them back to the house.
Hey, Mr. Wilson. That's Trice.
It's like Hillary and Sam to get shoes.
Hey, Mr. Hensel.
When Chris and I were hanging out with Hillary the other day, and Violet was driving the Barbie car, we were in awe. She could figure out how to reverse 3-point turn.
I've been working. That's one thing with those kids. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep helping you. I'm gonna try to teach you. I'm like, here, put it in reverse, turn the wheel, and they'll sit there and they'll hammer stuff and I'm like, no, stop. And Lakeland's now she's like, which way do I turn the wheel? Because she knows I'm not gonna just sit there and follow you around and keep pulling you off of stuff.
I mean, she's 2 though.
Yeah.
She's
all
putting
of your children can drive vehicles.
They can drive. All of them can drive pretty well.
Even Lakeland was drifting that Barbie Corvette at a young age, and everyone was like, she just drifted
What
around that corner.
she's figured out that as soon as she cuts power to the wheels and on the soft or the smooth brushed, not brushed concrete, just smooth concrete, it'll turn a little bit so she'll hit it, let off the gas enough for it to turn a little extra, and then hit the gas again. It's so awesome.
It's funny because when other kids come over or when you see other kids interact, you see boys that are years older than Lakeland, they can't even manage it around, and she's like, again, hitting them out of the way and drifting around the corners, and you're like,
The
the perspective.
The best is she had her friend over, a little friend over the other night, and Lakeland, is wide open. She's running around all the time, barefoot, whatever. Little girl, same age as Lakeland. And there's two comments that stuck out in my head. She goes, Lakeland, slow down. I can't keep up with you when you run that fast. Because she just doesn't have the same life as Lakeland, where she can run around and do whatever the heck she wants. And then at night, she's talking to Hillary. She goes, can I get some Tylenol? My feet are killing me.
Some Tylenol?
This 5-year-old asked for Tylenol because her feet were killing her. And I'm like, okay, our kids just a different life, And I'm like, it made me proud. I was like, that's my girl. Like, and I told Hillary, I was like, she's not allowed to hang out with her anymore. She just told her Lakeland to slow down because she couldn't keep up with her. I'm like, nope, that's not how this is gonna work. I was like, I don't need that kind of influence on my kid.
That's hilarious.
Has Lakeland ever asked for Tylenol?
Joking completely, because everybody,
Yes.
But I'm not an everyone gets a medal person. So my wife is. I am not. So
It's good stuff. That's fun to watch those kids.
hey,
It's a
you know
blast.
what though?
Tell us.
If you do take a lot of Tylenol, you should have your biomarkers checked. You know how we can do that?
That's true.
Inside Tracker.
Of course.
This episode is brought to you by Inside Tracker. Inside Tracker analyzes your blood, DNA, and lifestyle choices to give you an ultra-personalized nutrition plan so that you can meet your goals. They just recently launched the new immunity plan, which focuses on key blood biomarkers associated with immunity, stress, and sleep.
I need it.
Don't have any of that.
Yeah. Do not
So
take
that we all
test.
have the ability to take control of our health in these unprecedented times. Check it out at info.insidetracker.com //immunity strength.
Probably /.
Link in description. It's
Did you
/
guys got your?
Did you guys got your?
Did you guys got your test?
Yes,
you
we
guys
got ours.
recently did. Did you get the results yet?
Yeah.
It was a traumatic
change?
experience.
We've already talked about it if you would listen to the podcast.
Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, no, they're great. I still haven't sent off that DNA thing.
That's not
it's-
what
I
happened.
have my Ancestry one, and I did Ancestry and 23andMe just to do the DNA, so I would like to see what Inside Tracker as far as metrics go. But
It's not Ancestry because they explained it to me.
No, it's a little different.
yeah, it's like kind of your health
Yep.
DNA. Did
Yeah.
you do it? Did you say? Yeah.
I haven't done it yet. It's sitting
Mine's
in the
there.
office. I
Mine's
need to
in my
swab.
car.
I
the-
just got my Ancestry back. My aunt did it. I'm wildly confused. I can't even go over the results yet. But apparently
why
I have
can't you go over the results?
because I don't understand it. How can I walk around saying I'm this forever and there's
because you're wrong.
What
how
are
do
you?
know?
Because you just said.
Well, I have to look it up now. But I have Danish in me, and I always walk around saying I'm
can
Dutch
see
and
that.
Freaky
Freaky dicky Dutch.
But my last name's Kabor.
I do like a good Danish.
I would love to get one of
doesn't
those.
matter.
But-
Anything
but
about the percentage
but
of your
my
DNA
grandfather came from Holland.
does not matter. My great grandfather came from Ireland, and I'm like 20% Irish. So it's not, or like 15% Irish or something like that. That doesn't matter because he had to come from somewhere. Just because he came, like.
Yeah.
And you also have, I don't know, 3/4 else of your DNA that could have come from somewhere else, and you don't know where he came from or his ancestors come from. So it's like, I'm pretty sure science is probably a little bit better than some records that you have that you don't know if they were true or
I've
not.
got the wooden shoes in my house. What is going on
Been
right
living
now?
a lie. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's
I
kind of
mean-
the There's an Ancestry commercial that's .com commercial that's just like that, where the person thought they were this their whole life. Turns out they're mostly, I think it was German. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe, yeah.
I would love to do that because my mom has been telling me I'm Polish
Actually-
and Italian for a long time,
You
but
should
she
totally
literally
do it.
has no idea. Love you, Mom. But what percentage that is, or
I
you know what I
have
mean?
mine. Let me see if I can pull mine up
Yeah,
while you
I-
guys keep talking.
I've never done one of
look
those.
mine.
I would love
Ancestry.
to, but you know a lot about your.
I do.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Or do you?
I don't know.
That's the
Dude.
thing. is,
I'm
you
questioning it
I
now.
don't feel like you know until you know.
You should, honestly.
It-
Yeah.
it
Just
is really
compare.
interesting.
Because,
Is
like,
it a mouth swab?
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
well,
spit.
it's spit. You have to spit.
Yeah.
It's
and
so
seeing the other
much
people related
spit.
is crazy.
Really?
Yeah,
Inside
like I've had
Trackers is
some
not.
people
No, it's not that.
that are just, it's like your third or fourth cousin that I
Yeah.
didn't know, and they, like,
There's a lot of
obviously,
fourth
because
cousins out
mine's
there.
public on there, because I
Yeah.
don't really care. I don't care about hiding
Yeah.
any of my data. Like, all my data's public, whatever. And people are like, oh, it's so cool. We're somehow related. It's like, which is,
Yeah.
there's science to prove it, so
Yeah.
they can't just be like, oh, I'm related to the Rich Froning, but yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, the fourth
Not that
cousin
that's
thing's a real
that
thing,
cool,
but
but-
it's like it's your your grandpa's. So it's like way back
Yeah.
and just a tiny bit, but it's still like there's a lot of them out there. in
I'm
the
gonna go
system.
do it.
Yeah, it is. It's
I should
actually
add that
really
to my
neat.
list.
Okay.
Jim, that would actually, you should do that. Cause
I should.
You know, because you have some Native American and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be really cool.
Be
That'd
interesting.
be cool to see. I gotta pull mine back up. I heard this today, and this blew my mind. What do you think the world record is for most consecutive push-ups? It made me think of it after all the.
They do those
I'm not
fancy
getting.
ones,
Hold on.
though.
I'm not getting into any physical. Like I've seen so many I have done so many pull-ups, whatever, and they're not full range of motion pull-ups. Like you can say kipping and all that crap, whatever you want. But man, people cheat push-ups. I think that's one of the most cheated movements.
I
there is.
totally agree, but just
Sorry.
when you hear this number, like, okay, think I don't.
3,000.
Even if it's the most cheated pull-up, what do you think the number
3,000.
is? Okay, you guys.
2,000.
Like in one
Without stopping.
sitting without
Yes,
stopping.
most consecutive.
No.
Yeah, without stop.
3,000
I
push-ups.
made that up. I
I was
made it
gonna
up.
say that's not even.
10,507
Blow up.
by Minoru Yoshida of Japan in October
They're probably like
1980.
this.
Probably.
Yep.
Think
I don't
about
even
how
know
hard
many
Murph
hours
is.
that would take.
There's zero standard to any of those type of like
That is
world
kind of
like
records.
I would like
Yeah.
to.
So how long do you have to sit there? In a plank, though, that's like a long plank.
Yeah.
A very
Yeah.
long plank.
Ooh.
Wow. How
I
many
can't
how many
even-
push-ups in Murph? 200.
Yeah.
200.
That's hard.
So hard.
So hard.
Here we go. You ready for my ancestry? If you're not, too bad. Here it goes.
Too bad.
All right. So
Here we
just overview. My ancestral details: 55% French and German, 26.7% British Irish, 0.4% Nigerian.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I don't know where that.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Did you say 4 or 0.4?
0.4.
0.4. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it says 17% broadly Northwestern European. So there you go.
Broadly. What is that?
It's still pretty broad.
Yeah, I don't know. what
Okay.
that means. Northwestern Europeans are represented by the people as far west as Ireland, as far north as Norway, as far east as Finland, as far as south as France. These
Okay.
countries rim the North and Baltic Seas and have been connected throughout the history by those waters. Broadly, Northwestern European DNA matches several specific populations and cannot be assigned to just one. This shared heritage may be the result of extensive migration, possibly including Germanic invasions of the early Middle Ages. So there you go.
There you have it.
County Cork in Ireland is where my great-great-grandfather his family came from. So that's
I feel like
So I
that's
was
kind of
always like-
famous somehow.
Huh?
I feel like that's famous in some
I don't
way.
know.
I was going to say, I feel like that was on mine too. Something about Cork, Ireland.
I did. So I started digging into Ancestry.com before I even did this, just to I just wanted to know because
Yeah.
people are always like, "Where are you from?" You know, like what's, and I always knew that I had some Irish heritage, knew I had some Welsh heritage, and then a lot like three out of my 4 grandparents are German, like strong German, and so I just wanted to do some digging. Well, it was kind of cool to just see some old paperwork of there was I think it was my great-great-grandfather was in the not the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and was came through Atlanta, or came to Atlanta, was shot in Atlanta. Actually, didn't die, but was honorably discharged after being shot. So what's kind of cool is to think about if he came from Michigan to go to Atlanta, he came right through here,
Yeah.
and just to kind of think,
That is
Yeah.
cool.
you know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are those type of things that are kind of cool on those
Yeah.
websites. And they're not paying us. That was not a paid ad. Once again, send check to 601 Rich Froning Way.
I'm excited to have you do it now too. I'll pull mine up
I'm
next
pumped.
time. It was just
Do it.
crazy.
Yeah, so I did Ancestry and
23.
What's
Doing
23andMe
me.
tell you?
a lot of similar stuff, but then they're doing a lot of stuff on research. So you don't have to, but if you want to get more out of it, you can actually go through and answer surveys about so it was kind of cool is they tell you based on research of certain things you have in your DNA. One of the things that said it was something in my DNA, I was more likely to be what did it say? A professional power athlete. And it was kind of cool.
yeah.
Makes sense.
And so I'm more likely to have hazel eyes. Turns out I have
Yeah.
hazel. They're some things that were weird
That's cool.
that you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And then there were other things that you're like, nope, I don't have that. So it was
Right.
kind of cool.
Doesn't it tell you to you might be
When
more
you're gonna die.
susceptible to
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, I was like,
no,
what?
susceptible to certain diseases,
Diseases,
and things.
yeah.
That's
No,
what I
it
kinda thought it
kind of
was.
scans
Yeah.
for diseases and what it's a pretty cool tool. Yeah. So there's health and traits tab. that you can click on. And
Looking at
So is
I
it true
I feel
they're
like we're
gonna
giving
use
them
your-
way too much. No.
Yeah, their DNA to make
Yeah.
a clone of you.
So
yeah,
like
that's kind of what I was concerned.
age-related macular degeneration, that type of stuff, celiac disease, variants not detected.
Wait, this is what you're
23andMe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are
Type
bad
2
things?
diabetes,
But it says
typical
not-
likelihood.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Wow.
I get fat.
You thinking
That's
about
gonna
it?
You could be
happen.
skinny fat.
Parkinson's,
Yeah.
variants not detected. Like, this isn't like not saying this is going to happen, but it tells you like your health
Wow.
risks. So it's kind of cool.
Wow. So
And then there's a bunch
Have
of
to
there's
do
like
that
a
too now.
Mhm.
I
Wow.
know.
It's
There's
a
like a
lot.
research tab that you can go through. Man,
We're gonna have to
we're
spit
giving
a
them
lot.
way
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah. Like we're this podcast just
This is-
ads
yeah.
for
Sorry.
things.
Never mind.
Just
Heck
Do a
with-
real ad.
Yeah. So
a real ad. Did you try the Impossible Handstand Challenge?
Oh, with the shirt? No.
I was surprised. I figured you guys would do that in
I
quarantine.
didn't.
why would I do that?
I don't know.
Where
challenge.
where did it come from?
I have no idea.
I
Was
don't
it
know.
TikTok?
The internet?
So-
Was it
no,
TikTok?
I think it was something
No.
on Instagram.
It's been everywhere.
It
It's
didn't
been on
have a
every
dumbbell
outlet.
with it, so we didn't do it.
It didn't have a dumbbell.
Ain't that the truth?
That was good, Jim.
It's so funny, like being out of town at first when you guys started doing those, I was like, oh, those don't look too bad. And then I started doing them and I was like, this is insanity.
You said you didn't do most of them. You said you didn't even watch most of
What
the
are you
stuff.
talking
You said,
about?
I would turn it on, look at it, and then turn it
No.
off.
I scrolled through some things, but I got into the dumbbell ones. And then like the last week before I came home, I would do them with you. Not at the exact time, but I would put one headphone in.
It's frightening to think about all the archived workouts
Yeah.
In the cloud.
in the cloud somewhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Jim,
All right.
Oh wow!
did you try?
What flavor
Did
is
you-
this?
Oh, that was
Ooh,
good.
peanut
You
butter
tried
stuff.
this one, right?
No,
I
that's
did,
like
which
crack.
was
So
It is
good, right?
so good.
Did you
I
take
like
any?
this one better.
Did any of it make it home to Kristen?
No.
Kettle Bros. Kettle Bros popcorn has mastered the perfect protein snack with a mix of sweet and salty kettle corn
I'm
and
not
a
gonna eat it now.
protein-packed drizzle. The newly released line of protein-packed popcorn has 40 grams.
really
40. Hey, did you hear me?
40
grams.
I said 40 grams of protein per bag and available in three delicious flavors. Go follow them on Instagram at Kettle Bros and use the discount Froning for 10% off your entire order at kettlebros.com. I almost made it through that entire one without screwing it up, and I
Oh, but you didn't.
dang it.
So 0.
I feel like at the Mayhem Classic, we were all just living off of Kettle Bros.
Kettle
I
Bros
mean,
and Froning Farms bison
Oh
sticks
my
snacks.
gosh.
Those are
It's-
so
that was
good.
a lot of.
Yeah.
I ate a lot of popcorn. over that time.
Legitimately, no BS. So good.
It's
So good.
delicious. Yeah, no, I mean,
I love popcorn. It's too bad my biome told me I can't eat popcorn, but
boo.
this popcorn is good.
Boo.
Oh,
No, it's delicious.
I still can't believe my results. It just blows my mind.
I
Like,
haven't even.
just can't even.
I've not implemented one thing.
It's everything that I eat on a daily basis. I can't have. The 100% do not have for me was broccoli,
Kale.
Brussels sprouts.
Mine said I couldn't have kale. Yes.
My kale is a void for me, and I was eating
Half the
pounds
things,
of it.
but here's my deal with that. Even like it was like some things are my superfoods. I can't eat those things because my tongue breaks out and my throat closes up. Like,
Okay, that's
I
your
can't eat
anomaly.
apples. I can't eat strawberries. Sometimes bananas. Like the list keeps growing. Celery, carrots, unless they're cooked.
Wait, these are newly allergies?
Sometimes not
I think
like
you're
it's just.
changing up your diet. Now you're getting all these allergies. You used
I know.
to be able
I'm
to
just
eat a
gonna start eating
dumpster.
completely everything processed, and I'm fine. Versus trying to eat healthy, and I literally risk my life when I do. Seriously.
Did you have any superfoods that you can eat though?
I don't remember. I looked at it once and I was like, "Pff, I don't listen to this.
You know what I put on everything now that was my superfood that is good is mung bean sprouts and alfalfa sprouts. You can mix those in
Mung.
with anything. They add like crunch. They're
I like
excellent.
alfalfa sprouts. I've
Yeah.
tried those before. They put them on like sandwiches sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
It
about?
ruins the
Yeah.
sandwich.
It does not.
Perfectly good sandwich.
Did you just say dung fruit? And dung?
Mung.
Mung.
One thing about alfalfa sprouts that I heard, I don't know if this is true though,
They
that they're
smell terrible.
they're
It's
hard to
horrible.
when they're growing or whatever.
I
Like there was a
don't know.
processing plant of
Alfalfa sprouts near you?
it was bean sprouts or alfalfa something, some
Really?
type of sprouts. It might have been the dogwood trees or whatever, but
Yeah.
something smelled terrible
Yeah.
coming from there.
I
Plus
think
they
they're
fall
hard
off.
to clean. Like
can't
they're
keep your sandwich
commonly, like,
organized.
dirty.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Dung.
But-
They're dung
like them?
beetles. Yeah, of
I
course.
on
they
a
are.
sandwich, I'm not gonna lie. I like
Okay.
alfalfa. I don't know what these dung ones
No,
are, but
it's a bean sprout. It's what you eat in like Thai food.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I think
like
I've
a
had
little
some of
long
those.
sprout. No, y'all just
I don't
eat.
like bean sprouts at all.
Yeah.
actually.
They don't taste like anything, right?
struggle.
It's like
No, they just had crunch. It's a nice
Yeah.
crunch.
I
Kinda
struggle
bringing
with
You know what's
some
bean
bean sprouts.
awful too is water chestnuts.
I was
That's-
just gonna bring
I
those up.
freaking hate
I
those.
like
Are horrible.
them.
Yeah,
100%
My mom
horrible.
or my
Tastes like
grandma
nothing.
made this
You
like.
just don't like crunchy things?
I don't like
The
I-
texture's
no,
weird.
I don't. I don't like them. If something is supposed to be like a one consistency, and you throw something in there just to throw off the consistency,
Right.
I don't like it.
To throw
It's
it
good in
off.
like Asian food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I agree.
I still feel like it's like an afterthought. They just put it in
Yeah,
there
it's like,
for
oh,
something.
here's a bunch of crap. Let's throw this random. No, like you're not adding anything. It's like
Adding a little spice to
I
your
go
life.
back and forth honestly on like if I like walnuts or anything in. I was about to say if I like nuts in my banana bread, but I didn't want to go with that. So like walnuts or like I don't know. Like sometimes yes.
No.
I think I kind of like the older I get, I'm like. You know, I used to like pizza with a ton of different stuff on it. Now I'm like, I like pepperoni and mushroom. Or I like, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't need a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
You're almost like overloading it. I don't know. I used to be where like, oh, meat lovers, throw it on there. Now I'm like, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe more isn't better all the time.
You're
Sounds like you're
evolving.
aging.
I am getting old.
I want 2 things on my pizza. Jeez, what are you going to be like when you're 75?
I want nothing on my pizza.
You know,
I just want my
just can't
teeth.
have pizza. Yeah.
Just be mashing it together.
Yep. Can you chew this up for me? Yeah, so.
Kristen cuts most of my foods.
Oh.
At least
Just
your
kidding.
wife
That's
serves you food.
not really true. It's not true.
Did you guys eat out at all with quarantine? Like with all
Yes.
that stuff? Like I feel like I like cooking, but I tried to just be supportive of like local.
I
whatever.
feel like, and probably gonna get blasted on this. I feel like restaurants are doing fine.
You think?
If they have DoorDash option, Chick-fil-A is printing money in Cookville. Printing money.
Yeah.
Like if I could invest in just a single location of a place, I would put all of my money in Chick-fil-A.
Did you see their sauces are for sale at Publix
I've heard
now?
that. I don't.
I bought one. I bought one while I was home, and the proceeds go to the employees at Chick-fil-A, which is super cool. It's like a scholarship fund.
That's cool.
And
Chick-fil-A's. Man,
even tasted
they're not
good.
paying us either, but I love Chick-fil-A.
As you have your
one
cup
running
to-
I have
ad.
my cup.
But everyone knows.
Yeah.
This is real, not planted.
None of this is planted, actually. I like Chick-fil-A. I just like
The
Chick-fil-A.
little Mexican restaurant that we go to a lot was really struggling.
Yeah, there was like some of the. I'm sure some,
Some
of
of
the
the local.
smaller local stuff.
Yeah.
We did try to do a lot of like DoorDash stuff and stuff like
I
that.
think the fancier restaurants are struggling, like restaurants in Nashville per se
Oh, yeah,
that
like
are like
private-ish.
more bougie and the
Yeah.
high end, like because
High
people
end.
where can you even park at places like that? But again, to your point, like the DoorDash and stuff like that.
DoorDash
and
has
most
been
have
awesome
acquired.
usually at our
you know.
house they don't deliver. We're out there, and so they're
Yeah.
like, "Nah, dude." And now they deliver. So you're,
Really?
hey, let's do it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
A lot of places do.
Are they still allowing you to pick up alcohol?
I don't know.
Because that was the thing they did
Hillary,
for the
yeah.
quarantine.
Hillary, she's not gonna listen to this. Yeah, the Mexican restaurant here, you could take a margarita.
She
to
take a
go.
drive-through margaritas. That was a cool.
Yeah, we could do it over at
That's
our,
genius.
That's
Yeah.
like a bucket
El
list
Mags,
thing.
were they doing it there?
Yeah.
Might as well.
El Tap
How
was
does
doing
that
it.
work in Florida? Like there was a thing where like they taped the lid down, like you could take.
Oh,
it
people
to
are
go,
drinking
but,
that
like,
on the way home.
Well,
Come on.
I get it, but what's
I saw like some posts
Yeah.
where people were actually like they didn't mean to,
Yeah, yeah.
but they were like, "Hey,
Hey.
got one for the road." You're like, "I
Yeah.
don't think that's what the sheriff's department
well,
wants to
you
hear."
guys don't have open container
Hey,
in Tennessee.
let's get
Florida,
some road
there's open
beers.
container.
Oh,
So like you can't have anything that's even like.
No, you're not supposed to. But hey,
Hmm.
there's a lot of laws and everything either being laxed or being ramped up. Constitutional, not constitutional. You be the judge. But we won't get into that.
So, a question with quarantine though, from a fitness standpoint, is it because of the volume of now workouts that are online, like at-home workouts, is the public more or less fit in general because of now all the accessible pushed home fitness? Because it obviously takes motivation to do, but I keep wondering this because I see it everywhere. So
Depends
is
on
everyone more fit or less fit?
Depends on the person.
What do you think?
I don't know. How are we
What do
going
you
to quantify
speculate?
that?
I don't know.
So there's no answer. So why are we asking this question?
Because it's food for thought.
I have talked to some people who were doing fitness, and so it was something that they were already trying to do, and it really has helped them.
Yeah.
You know,
As long as there's some type of accountability to it, yeah.
they did. Then I think that's why they like
Motivation,
because there's a
accountability.
camera, somebody's doing it. Go grab my stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's been good.
That's actually what I loved about M30 today when Tasia and I were doing it, because this was the first time I sat with her and looked at the questions. It was so cool to see the people that like interact regularly, kind of like what you were saying earlier, and are like, I'm so glad that we were doing this today because we would have done it otherwise. And then that was so exciting to me to just be able to communicate back and forth and people able to do that. That's a different level.
You get to build a little bit of community,
Yeah.
because we do even on our quarantines kind of have some regulars. Like you see some people that have shown up in there, and especially in our morning groups. I mean, you got Randy, you got Timmy, you got Trevor.
But
Tony,
they encourage us too, which was cool.
Ken,
Not just like, you know.
Yeah, that was great. I think it's been fun just to get outside. Like for us personally, I won't speak for you guys, but I get so caught up in competing, competition, and I'm not gonna be able to do that forever. We know that. So it's been cool to like, all right, like when I'm done, maybe I still do have some value, maybe, depending on the day. But it just gives you something to do in the future, and if we can grow that side of it, and make it bigger, better, more interactive, better it's gonna be. So
yeah, it's been an awesome way to connect.
Super.
It happened like at a perfect time for me because I was really wanting to kind of step it up a little bit. So
Oh, look
now
at you,
you're
Jen.
like
Every day, boom.
going
good way to
twice.
stay. Not going twice, but just to be accountable. And you sent me home a couple of times.
Got that.
Yeah.
Did I send you home?
Well,
I was just like, he's like, I think I might come back. I'm like, Jim, you've done enough today. Yeah, you've done enough.
And he checked you that it's probably
good.
pretty accurate.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like, I don't want you to get hurt again.
Yeah,
and not come back for 6 months.
Right.
So hey, we're gonna be
Whenever
smart.
you're leaving, I'm like, Jim, will I see you later? And you're like, maybe. I'm like, okay,
No, that's a no.
That's no.
That's a no. You can come hang out.
Yeah.
Glad to have you hang out.
Yeah, that's good.
Work out, probably not. Or hey, why don't you sit on that bike over there, Jim?
It's super hard to be around
and not work out.
Yeah.
and not work out
We've all gone
because your
past
heart really wants to.
No, it doesn't. Your heart does not want to.
Yeah, not physically.
Your mind.
Yeah, okay.
Your heart doesn't want anymore. I can guarantee that. My heart's like, bro,
Please
we
don't
not
kill
doing
me.
this.
Calm down.
Bro,
I'm worried.
You have done enough. I have spiked too many times today.
Truly.
Can you just sit still? My back, same thing. Is like, nah, dude. It's nah, we're not doing that today.
And you're like, no, we are.
No, we are. What do you mean you're hurting? Let's snatch 245 and then front squat 315.
You laugh,
Oh,
but-
hey, I'll get you back tomorrow because you're not going to be able to touch your toes. Suck it.
True life.
Hashtag. Well, that sucked. That's one of the guys in the morning. They want a shirt that says just hashtag. Well, that sucked.
That is
Yeah.
so true. That is so your phrase.
It
Oh
is.
my gosh, you just all the time.
Sometimes you'll say that in the middle of the workout. I'm like, I can't even respond to you.
Like
I'm so dead.
Like I just hate you right now. I just don't even.
I'm like-
speak.
Sorry is a lot of one too. That's a,
Yeah.
sorry for that.
And I
Sorry.
usually just go,
It's just a glare.
Sorry.
yeah, thanks.
Someone brought up the other day too, which was actually really cool and interesting thought is, if this had happened, their whole thing was it's a time to be thankful even if you're in quarantine. Because if this would have happened in 1991, it was before the internet. You couldn't communicate. Could you imagine the difference?
I
in,
remember
like,
91 well. I was
I
one.
was 4. I just moved here. I don't
That
think
time, life
don't
was
think-
wild.
Yep.
I was walking in
Couldn't read.
diapers.
Lots of bottles.
I probably wouldn't have noticed. Honestly, might have been the same.
Those were the good years for me.
Or what about if it happened at
Actually,
Christmas?
I really don't want to get into this because I don't think it would be anywhere near what it is right now. But we'll go ahead because that's
Yeah,
going to
anyways.
take us down a tangent, and I don't want to discuss that right now because the media was not as prevalent at that
True.
point
Right.
and is that accessible. So
I was like, what are you talking? Where are you going
Anyways.
with
I
this?
don't think we would be in this current situation, but that's my personal belief.
Thank
And I'm
you.
going to keep
Thank-
my thoughts to myself, and we're going to move on from there.
All right.
Moving
Can I
on.
To
Can
the
I ask
next
a physical
ad.
question? This is something, I'm home alone working out, and I'm like,
Home
"Ooh,
alone?
real thoughts in the garage gym.
You
which
do
is
that
silly.
voice in your head?
Yes.
That's
Says, real thoughts in the. No, I don't. I'm usually screaming at my pet snake Fang. Anyway.
Okay.
So,
Proceed.
I don't know if this is psychological or not.
If it's you, yep, it is.
But like for instance, remember back in the day when you used to make fun of me when I would like assault bike and we would do the time lapses? Well, like if you time lapse with everyone and they're assault biking efficiently, they never move. When I would assault bike, it was like insane. But like that felt good. Sometimes like your range of motion when you're squatting, you have like that point of like, okay, that's as far as you can go down, but this is like my good place. So
For you, that's basically a push press.
it's not true.
It's
I
okay
could
to
probably
laugh,
do 10,000 in a
Tasia.
row. Whatever.
It's okay.
You know how
Once we go back to the push-up thing, air squat thing, yep, you'd probably be in that range. Sorry, go ahead.
Hey.
You still have a question, Elly?
Anyways, I'm not articulating it well, and it could be a dumb question, but I'm still gonna ask.
I'm going to go ahead and step out on a limb and say, yes, it's going to be a stupid question, but go ahead. Let's hear it.
Oh, you just said like after you finish fitnessing, you could be a productive member of society. Here's your chance. So
Nah, I don't want to.
as you become more exerted, your form breaks down.
Correct.
I get it because you're tired. But
Intensity?
Okay, but like when you're like saying, I'm squatting, you're like, Elly, drive your knees out. And I'm like, that's uncomfortable and it's taking more energy for me. So as you become more exerted and your form breaks down, is it actually easier to have bad form and do the movement longer or not?
Technique versus intensity. There's actually a lecture on this. I do believe you've been to a CrossFit level 1, right?
Yeah, I think you sponsored
Okay,
me.
so yeah, exactly. So you think about target shooting. Mm-hmm. Is it better to take a ton of time and just drive nails? Is it better to go condense the time it takes, be within that middle ring, maybe not drive nails, or go as fast as you can and be nowhere close? We want to be somewhere in the middle. However, you're talking about range of motion, actually. And also, you're also talking about injury if you're going to just completely break down on technique. We talk about technique versus intensity. Like, you're not going to get any better by staying completely comfortable all the time, but you're also going to be hurt a lot if you're just going to throw technique completely out of the window. So you want to be somewhere kind of in this, not gray area, but where the two cross. So like if you're racing a race car, you may scrape the wall every once in a while, but you don't want to slam into the wall.
But so if you're at the CrossFit Games and
it's actually almost word for word verbatim from CrossFit level 1, so
it's a good thing you're a level 3, 7, whatever.
I was a level 3. I let that lapse because I didn't want to get the CEUs because ain't nobody got time for that. Anyway.
But if you're at the CrossFit Games and you're going below parallel,
CrossFit Games, you throw everything out the window because you're trying to win the CrossFit Games.
I
but
also
go ahead.
think
Sorry.
too, like partly, like a lot of times your brain thinks it's going to be easier for me to just lax, but you're less efficient, so it's actually harder in the long run. At least for me, because sometimes
You're doing more work.
Yeah, you're like doing it a harder way, but it feels harder. Does that make sense?
The less efficient you are, the more work you do.
So like
efficiency. Yeah. What's the definition
in the long
of
run,
efficiency?
Yeah.
What's the definition of efficiency?
doing.
Being effective.
Are you on the computer right now?
Oh,
Do you have access to the Google?
to the Google.
You were asking me
To the internet?
I was like,
Because like me, I like to deadlift out in front of my body.
Siri.
I
but
mean,
is
when
that
I
more
squat,
efficient?
my knees touch,
no,
but
it's not.
I feel like what I just typed in definitely.
Oh, I tried to get her to define
Siri.
it.
Close.
Yeah. So
Efficiency, the state or quality of being efficient. An action
Genius.
designed to achieve efficiency. Wow. The ratio of useful work performed by a machine or in a process to the total energy expended or heat taken in.
yeah. So you're trying to do less work to get the job done.
I'm really just thinking about like anatomically. Like I was just thinking about a lot of different things. Like I said, like
But here's
I
the
don't
deal:
want
is
to
if
squat
you're
and my knees touch, but it for some reason with
Because you trained yourself to feel like that's right.
normal and okay
Yeah.
when it's not, and you're putting a ton of shear on your knees.
But what point in my life did my ankle mobility suck? Is that from running? Like,
Yeah,
is at some
because
point
you ran what, 1,000,000 miles?
1,000,000 miles,
Yeah,
so a lot of miles.
Yeah.
It happens. And some of it's biomechanics. Some of it, some people squat different. Some people have longer femurs. Some people torso. It's just you can't. It's like diet we were talking about earlier. You can't put somebody in one, like you have to squat this way because some people don't. However, when you squat like this, you don't get below parallel. So you have to pull out you have to pull your knees out a little bit to get below parallel to make room for your hips to drop below your knees.
Well, and I guess now I'm backpedaling because crap, I was really rallying on the other side of things, but I was
just
listening
keep trying
to
to
this,
make excuses to squat poorly.
It's what it sounds
no,
like.
I just
You've been doing that for 7 years now.
I just
so.
wanted to know the like if my body or my mind was lying to me about if I'm doing
My
200. Yeah, well,
I would say you've just trained yourself a certain way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's
but
definitely
that's-
not more efficient, but you have trained yourself to be
that makes me
better that
mad.
way.
I'm just
You've
sad that I trained
compromised so
myself that
much
way.
in life that now you think it's okay to be.
Wow.
I didn't
There
say
it
that.
is.
What the heck?
I didn't. I mean, talking about your squat, not.
Unbelievable. Well,
Nice.
so I was listening to
We're almost
A-Rod?
done. So.
was talking to Ed Milet, which is really cool, and he was talking about he's good grief, and this has a point, I swear. He's had 15,000 at bats, and he said there was not one time in all of that he didn't do his pre-game routine. Like it was the same every
Baseball players
single
are psycho about
time.
that stuff. Yep.
You are a baseball player,
Yes.
so equals your psycho.
Yes.
Good point.
Yeah,
Fair.
I mean about like
Superstition.
having
Yes. Yes.
like
Yeah.
like you have a process that you go
Yes.
through. Like it was just, if you were thrown off your process at all, your head just goes haywire. Like I had a friend that he had to push and lock his truck 3 times and hear it beep 3 times. And sometimes he would just do things in threes. He'd walk in and out of like half in, half out, half in, half out of a door 3 times, and we would just
That
mess
sounds
with him so
exhausting.
bad. But
That
yeah,
does sound
like
exhausting.
but it's crazy how that stuff just kind of manifests. But yes.
The whole point of it was his thing over and over again was that fundamentals are everything, and that every single day working towards fundamentals, every day you can improve them, and that's what's gonna springboard you into something else. But honestly, it brought me back to how well you move and how long you probably have been. Here I am talking about how bad I move, and I'm giving you a nice compliment about how you move so well.
Sometimes.
And you've worked on fundamentals forever. I mean, would you say that has something to do with your success or not really?
For sure, 100%, 1,000%.
But that was intentional on your part.
Ish. Part of it's athleticism was kind of like just that's how I picked it up, and I moved well, watched, saw, corrected. I mean, if you look back in earlier probably videos, there were some things that I could clean up for sure, but you at least had some type of foundational base.
Yeah.
When you're learning, do you see it and then you can do it, or do you have to do it?
Kind of depends.
Yeah.
So when I tore my labrum in high school, not from CrossFit, from baseball, from football,
Oh, that story.
I learned how to do everything left-handed. And so I learned how to throw left-handed just in case my shoulder wasn't going to be healed enough to play. I wasn't going to miss my senior year. And so I learned how to throw left-handed by watching myself in the mirror. So like I would sit there and I couldn't really throw, but I could go through the motion other than the range of motion and do it. So I sat there and I'd watch how I throw
That's cool.
left-handed just to see. And so I can still throw pretty decent. It's not practiced as much, but I can throw decent left-handed now because I can also wipe my ass left-handed.
That's
Skill,
impressive.
definite skill.
Some people have to hear it.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not a hearer.
I'm not that way at all. I
have
tune
to
that
see.
out.
Reading, I can't. I don't learn from hearing. I'm not a good listener. I'm a horrible listener.
What was that like for gymnastics though? Like in football, I mean, you both had sports that required a lot of fundamental. Like, is that something you guys have both
Oh my God,
hammered?
gymnastics is known for that. It's like so much repetition over and over and over and over again. So, I mean, similar to CrossFit, but in gymnastics, you repeat, like, it's different, like a game. When you guys are going to football or baseball, you don't know what that game's going to look like. In gymnastics, I know exactly the routine I'm going to do. I might fall or do something a little bit weird, but I've done that routine like a million times.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did you parallel that to CrossFit when you started? Like when you first entered a gym and they gave you a barbell and stuff, was it like ingrained in your mind that you're like, I'm drilling. Like, do you think that's why you became so successful in CrossFit, or?
I definitely spent time putting in, like, I remember not being able to do it clean, like the proprioception of like being able to figure that out. I remember that, but then I had good people around me to help me make sure I got that technique right.
I actually hate drills.
I did so
Really?
many drills.
I hate drill. I don't know why.
In
I
general,
know.
or?
Yeah, like barbell drills and stuff. I'm just like, just let me like snap. Like I don't mind like lifting and doing pulls or doing like different. I guess those are drills, but like just drilling with a PVC or drilling with a bar. I hate that. For some reason, I was just like, nah, dude. Like, let me do some reps. I don't know. And I know there's value to it, but I hated it.
But I think each person's different,
Everybody's
right?
different.
Like, you're going to pick something up faster than me. You're more athletic than me. So I might have to take some time to
Darn
do.
right.
I mean, it's truly. You guys probably all are. So it took me a little more time.
Hey,
Okay.
Hey,
do you have one of these?
I don't. What is this?
This. Oh, hey, you're blocking the light.
Oh,
no,
I was
you
gonna
take it
hold
from-
it.
Oh,
Grab it
yeah,
the
hold
right
it. There we go.
Without
Hey,
blocking.
if you don't have a
Tasia.
new Mayhem shaker, we do now have. I don't even know. Smoke,
It's black.
black.
a gun,
All right.
powder.
Yeah. Also,
Gun.
finally, by
Oh.
the time this
Oh my
podcast is out,
gosh.
What?
by the
Look
time
at
this
all those
podcast is out,
logos.
these will be a little pricey. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that.
Wow.
But
They come with all the logos
Dre's,
on them?
yeah,
They look
these logos. Yeah.
good.
So Dre is gonna have to explain it, but the process that they used and we've tested over the last couple months, it's like a silicone-based print.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a screen print. So these logos will not fade. They will not tarnish, and they will not. Well, they might come off
Tarnish.
eventually, but I made
They
most of
won't
that
rust.
lingo up. But hey, we're gonna have the blue and the blacks.
Lou, what color's your favorite?
I like black and really dark gray. So those will be out by the time this podcast is out, as well as, hey.
Oh, look at that.
Mayhem socks.
Those are cool.
Wow.
I feel like
And-
that's a Dre signature right there if you've ever seen it.
that's Dre.
Wear them inside out if you want to be like Dre.
And the women's mauve or mauve. Did we?
Mauve.
Mauve. I think we talked about this. The Mauve Avenger. Do you guys remember Hey Arnold?
I remember Hey Arnold.
There was an episode called the Mauve Avenger. Anyway, the women's mauve and mint prey tanks are back in stock.
Black
the
and-
back
'cause you
in
just
stock
like black
and
so
the black
much.
prey shirts are back in stock.
Sweet.
Cool.
New blender bottles plus the metal shakers are back in
Oh,
stock.
those are awesome.
So
What's going on with the serve shirt here?
I think
Is
we're
that-
done. Oh yeah, and we can leads into the next one because we're almost done.
Oh,
Froning Farms serve shirt. It's a parallel with our prey shirt. Proceeds go to Mayhem Mission. That's cool. Something we've talked about for a while, so pretty fired up about it. And it's got scripture on it, and it's Mark 10:45, and it says, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others, and to give his life as a ransom for many." And so, serve is one of our values here at Mayhem. We kind of going through the Mayhem mindset. Serve is something that's on our heart. At Froning Farms is no different. Me and Matt, my best friend, who's our partner in it, we're both firefighters, and so I thought it was a cool parallel with the Pray shirt to have the Serve
cool.
shirt,
Very cool.
and 25% goes to Mayhem Mission, so we have that out. Sticks and bars are back in stock, as well as some new apparel. We do have a OD Green Into the Storm shirt, so
Cool.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
fired up
cool.
about that one. Looks good, and man, I wish we had some of that biltong for you to try because it is amazing.
I tried
we got
it.
that coming.
Was it good?
It was good, right? And the macros on it are incredible.
It was
So
really good.
pay attention for that. And actually, we're working on some ground bison.
nice.
Yum.
So that is all for this podcast. That is all of our ads. We are done, except for Jim. I believe you have one.
Ooh,
I do. Mayhem
tell us.
mindset.
There we go.
Yeah. Listen, by the way, if you want to get it for 37% off,
37%
yeah,
off.
you
Not
better do it-
33.
You better do it this
That's
week.
less than a third, more than a third off.
It is. You better do it this week because it's going back up.
It's going
next week.
gone. It's going away. So awesome. And you're doing like Mondays office hours
yeah,
where
there's
people
like-
can like go through the process, which is really cool, and actually have some one-on-one time with your some group
Yep.
time and
Yep.
incredible process. And so having access to you like that has been incredible. So
Right on.
I think it'd be good for people.
Absolutely.
MayhemMindset.com, FroningFarms.com, CrossFitMayhem.com, and next week, lots of video. This week, technically, lots of videos. Elly's back. She's doing videos. She's taking the lead on M30, and
I'm assisting. You're taking the
we'll have
lead.
it Into the Storm soon too. So
Sounds
peace.
Bye.